the story of this actually does have a good concept. Don't get me wrong, it's a good concept. That's all. I'm not saying it was executed well. The concept, the story is pretty much the baker and his wife go into the woods because they found out that this witch cursed them a while ago and basically just makes them not have a child, but they have 3 nights to get these 3 ingredients, so then she can give them the ability to have a child again. But really, why didn't she tell them about this sooner? I just don't get that. Why didn't she tell them about this sooner? I mean, it's kind of obvious that she's really wanting them to get this potion. So why don't you tell about them, like, I don't know, like a week before? 3 nights? I mean, just do that. That'd be so much easier. But anyway, so they have to get a hair as yellow as straw. Yeah, okay. So, of course, there's where Rapunzel plays in, and if you know the story of Rapunzel, then you know the story of her subplots. Then we got Cinderella, because they gotta get this golden slipper, and yeah, and Cinderella's shoes here are golden. But yeah, they got that one. If you know the story of Cinderella, then you know that subplot. Except hers actually gets kind of bloody at one point. I'm just like, man, what? Okay, I'm trying to not spoil things, but God, there was one moment where they just get weird. And then they have to get a cow as white as milk, which is where Jack plays in. If you know the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, then you know that subplot. And then there's also, they have to get a cape as red as blood. Little Red Riding Hood, of course. And if you know her story, then you know her subplot. And pretty much, that's it. They get all the ingredients at the end. Ooh, spoiler, okay? But just so you know, this is not entirely spoiler-free. Alright, I'm gonna be spoiling some stuff, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, I will put a link in the description to where I found it, but I don't highly recommend it. And also, that link I will send out will actually have some volume going down at one point, so get speakers out when that happens. But pretty much, after that, they have this one scene, they have, like, this whole entire second half of the movie. It's like an entirely different movie after that. Because then, they got all the ingredients. They all got married, they all got happy lives until the wife of the giant comes and gets very angry with Jack and then tries to kill him. Yeah, as you can see, this is a very odd idea. And they all have to get Jack and give him to the giant, which here's the part that I don't get. There's a huge plot hole in this moment. Why can't the witch just use the magic on this annoying giant? Just use some freaking magic! You have magic, use it! I mean, good God! Did someone have to die before you use magic? Oh yeah, someone else dies before she uses her magic, and she doesn't even use any magic after that. It's like, oh, people are losing their lives. I guess I'll just stand here and do nothing. But then she grabs Jack, and then they constantly sing. Oh my God. Okay, here's the most annoying part about this movie to me. Most of their dialogue is composed of nothing but songs. Seriously, they have nothing else to say. They have hardly any actual dialogue. I mean, all you had to do for that audition is say, oh, I can sing. Okay, you're hired. That's it. Because all they do is sing. Now, I know, I'm being critical, right? But this is also a good concept. They do find a way of mixing up these characters. They do find a good way of mixing up all these characters and making their subplots all connect with one another. But sadly, the main part when I think that was done the best was during the second half. Which then I was like, okay, this movie's over. Wait, why is there still like an hour left? So pretty much, I wouldn't doubt that a lot of people just left the theater after that. And then heard, oh, there was a second half of that? And we saw enough of that movie, we're not gonna go back. So, pretty much it makes no sense why they would actually do stuff like that. Now, I will have a new part on my review that talks about the songs, but just so you know, I will not say every single song's name because, like I said before, most of that 2-hour-long movie is composed of nothing but songs. Which they work, some of the songs work. But after a while, you just get sick of them, and you want them to just shut up. Even my favorite character, the baker, couldn't go through this whole entire film without singing. That's a bad sign. There's even one character at one point that actually is basically just telling them all to shut up. And now, the characters. I'm just gonna start off with the one that I say is personally to blame for this. The witch. Why do I say that she's personally to blame? Because she's the one who started this curse in the first place. And also, she cursed the family. But still, to me, she's the one who started off this whole movie by giving the baker and his wife the plot thing, and oh my god, did this feel forced. I know, she did a good job with what she had, but I know Meryl Streep did a good job with what she had, but gosh, it was just what she had was so bad to me. I mean, some of her stuff is good. I like the part where she's just like, oh, just shut up already. You guys all think that something bad's happening, but just shut up. Arguing won't help. I know. That was actually a pretty good scene. But aside from that scene, I don't really see why she got nominated for an Oscar, or won the Oscar. I don't know. I didn't watch the Oscars. But I heard that she was nominated, so. But I don't know why she won. I mean, it was just unconvincing to me. I mean, you could tell that she was having fun with it, but maybe a little bit too much fun. Because she seemed to get really into it. Then I know I just got really into my story part of this, but still, she got a little bit too far into it to me. Because it just made it feel so forced. I'm sorry, it just felt forced to me. Okay, so now we go on to the baker and his wife. I'm going to talk about these two just to shorten up the characters because there are a lot. So, the baker is actually my favorite character in this movie. He doesn't sing that much, which to me was mainly like the main selling point. Like, all the characters that sing, get out of here because you sing. The baker, you don't sing that much, you can stay. But to me, it just felt like it was kind of forced. I mean, or at least his wife was, okay? His wife was forceful. Again, this character, oh my god, the movie could have been the same without her, to me. It just could have. Like, you could have replaced her with any other actress, and then they would have done the same thing. The only thing that gave her character was the script, that's all. But the baker is another story. You can see that the actor got into it, but not as much as Meryl Streep. And he really did like the role. You could tell, and it actually feels like he was made to do this role. That's probably why I felt like it was such a good casting choice. And after that, then these characters just get really weak and cliched to me. I mean, Rapunzel, oh my gosh, it's just Rapunzel. It's not Rapunzel from Tangle who had personality or anything, it's just Rapunzel. I mean, she throws down her hair, she cries a lot, and she found a boyfriend, and that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, her boyfriend's practically the same as Prince Charming, except he doesn't cheat. Oh yeah, and Prince Charming cheats. There, we got 3 characters out of the way. Okay, but Prince Charming's a jerk in this version. Don't know why, they just made him a jerk. I guess they were just really bored and thought that this movie was bad, and that no one would stay for the second half. But stay for the second half, because the second half is when it really gets good. Because to me, the second half is way better. Because they're not singing as much, and they're actually surprised with this ending. I mean, like, even the narrator, he's just like, whoa, okay, why is this happening? I thought the story was over. But it's actually a really good scene. And And then we have Cinderella, who... Actually, in this one, she's even less pathetic than the Disney animated version. I know. Impossible, right? Oh, shut up. Okay. So, if you heard that, then they just said boo. I don't know if you could hear that. But, pretty much, I just think that she was a little bit too, oh, I need a prince to save me, cliche. I'm not just like what Rapunzel is, but I didn't really kind of see Rapunzel as that. We saw Cinderella in the beginning as someone who was a hard worker, and then she's just like, screw it, I want Prince. But, yeah, it just seemed kind of odd to me. I don't know why she was at the Oscars, especially for that song. Which is the only part of the Oscars I've seen, okay? Uh, who else is there? Oh yeah, there's Little Red Riding Hood, who actually I like in the second half because then she's pretty awesome. I mean, she wears the skin of a wolf. Oh yeah, and the wolf dies. Yeah, Johnny Depp got killed. Oh yeah, and Johnny Depp, oh my god, he is so unconvincing as a wolf. Even his costume is unconvincing. I'm just like, is that supposed to be a wolf, or is it just supposed to be a guy in a costume? And it is, it's just a guy in a costume. I think that Johnny Depp was just walking by the set and they were like, hey, here's the paycheck. He's like, oh, okay. But Little Red Riding Hood, she gets cooler by the end, because then she has a freaking knife. She's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna kill this giant. I'm like, yes, go kill the giant. Kill the giant, that's what you need to do. And then they're just like, no, you gotta stay here. I'm like, oh, darn, another musical number, no. I mean, they have so many. They have so many musical numbers. I'm just saying that right now. And then we have Jack, who, oh my gosh, this is every little boy. This is like Tom Sawyer, Ralph from The Lord of the Flies. All these characters got mixed up into one and got so little personality, and got all their personality just taken out. Because he is so unlikable. I mean, this kid, he steals, and I'm just like, why? And also, when he gives people money, he's like, oh, okay, now give me my cow back. I'm like, they didn't make this deal. When did they make this deal with you? When did they make this deal? They never made this deal. Why are you stealing their cow from them now? It felt odd, and his mother's not even, and his mother doesn't help sugarcoating him, because his mother is just really abusive throughout most of the film. She, like, swats her kid on the head. I'm like, geez, lady. She sends him to bed without dinner, even though it's still daylight out. I'm like, geez, just do it at least when there's no daylight. God. I just found her as a very mean-spirited character, which is what most of these characters are. And most of these characters are pretty mean-spirited and very unlikable to me. Now, I might be doing a part 2 of this review for the songs part, because I'm not saying the name of these songs, because I don't even know the names of all these songs. But pretty much there are just so many. Oh yeah, and then there's also the baker's father, and also, who the heck was the baker and his wife? Were they like Hansel and Gretel or something? Were they even based on a fairy tale? If you know that they were based on a fairy tale and which one, or if they weren't, please tell me please send me a chat about that, because I need to know. It was really irritating me throughout the whole movie. I was just like, okay, yeah, your wife just died, but who are you, Baker? Oh yeah, and also the baker's wife died. I know, spoilers. Oh, shut up. Okay, so, again, that was a boo if you didn't hear it. I don't know if the sound was coming through. But, yeah, it just seems like a very mean-spirited movie, and a very mean-spirited cast of characters. Now, if you like it, that's fine. Enjoy, because I can see why you can like this, but I just don't. So for characters, again, 3 out of 10, because they're all mean-spirited to me. And as I said before, here's my part on the song. Now, I would go on and on in my review talking about how much I hate these songs. Nothing has changed. I still hate these songs. Why? Because, well, there are just too many of them. We don't need all these songs. I know it's based off of a musical, but I don't even think this musical has that much. I mean, Jesus! I mean, pretty much every single word that they say has to have a song involved or attached to it. Like, even if they were just say hi to someone, they'd just be like, oh yeah, let's sing about it. Why? Because we have to. Because we're in a musical. But them being in a musical does not mean that they have to sing constantly. I mean, all I saw throughout this film was some good effects, some good cinematography, and songs. Just tons of songs. Like, there was only one character that could not get throughout this whole film without singing, that could get out through this whole entire film without singing. Okay, well, there were two, but one of them hardly even spoke. It was the two giants. And they're hardly in this movie. That's a bad sign. Whenever you have characters that hardly stop singing. And like I said before, the baker doesn't sing that much. But when he does, I want to pound them all into the ground. I don't care if they got nominated for Oscars. I don't care if people like this movie. I think that these songs are the biggest problem. Now, I know I'm yelling about this. I don't know if you guys can tell because my volume's always pretty low, but I'm yelling about this. But, Joe, I just hate these songs. And the annoying thing is that some of the stuff can just be said. Like, half of the stuff that they say in these songs can just be spoken. Like, there's even a moment where they sing about, oh, hey, we can go together, we can walk together through the woods. I'm like, you guys had one more day to do this. Aren't you guys gonna kind of use that well instead of sing? I mean, seriously, if they didn't just randomly break out in musical numbers, then they probably would have gotten this film done a whole lot faster. But, of course, they had to break out into musical numbers, which I find is totally pointless. Now, if you enjoy those songs, good for you. But, for me, I hate them. I hate how they get in the way of the plot, they don't have that much to offer to the story, and they just make these characters weak in personality. It's like these characters are just relying on song. Which would be good if they didn't have so freaking many. I mean, I could play a game during this movie. Actually, yeah, while you watch this movie, if you click on the link that I put in the description on my part 1 of it, click that link if you want to. I'm putting speakers at one point because you're gonna need those, trust me. Because after, like, while the witch is singing to Rapunzel, then the volume will start going down and then it'll come back, and it'll just do that for a moment, so just pause it whenever that happens and get out some speakers. I'm just letting you know that, but okay, while you watch that movie, play a game. Yeah, play a game called Let's Count How Many Songs There Are. I'm telling you, you might get to 100. And if you think that I'm just dwelling on this, I'm not. Because if you watch this film, you will see there are tons of songs. I know I'm going on and on about this, but there are too many. They don't need these many songs. I mean, on its own, it would have been fine if they only had songs like every 20 minutes or something. And considering that they got like a 2-hour-long movie here, that'd be perfectly fine. I would just be perfectly fine with that if they did that. But no, they have to make songs be going into this film 24/7. I just feel so bad for this songwriter. I mean, think about all the crap he had to go through. They'd probably be like, oh, hey, we want another song. Oh, please, God, no. I cannot write another song. Well, you got to. Okay. But, seriously, if you want to watch this If you want to see this movie, then fine. Watch it. I have the link in my other one. Now, I know I'm going on and on about this, but God, these songs just annoy me. And frankly, I don't know how they don't annoy anyone else. Because they go on and on forever. And it takes so long for them to stop singing. I mean, I get in the opening and at some parts when it's necessary, but there's only moments where the wolf is just telling Little Red Riding Hood just to stray from her path. I'm like, why can't you just say stray from the path? Just say stray from the path. It's that simple. You only had to write choreography for this. There's no reason for it. There's no rhyme or reason. I know, I'm still dwelling on this, but God, I hate these songs. And some of these songs are actually played down pretty well, and the song where they're blaming everyone is actually pretty good and creative, but aside from those, I really hate these songs, because they just have no point. I could watch this whole entire film without the songs, and I mean, you can just buy the soundtrack and you've got the film. Like, seriously, just like look online if you want after you watch the movie, and then look online and type in all the scenes where people talk in Into the Woods. It'll probably be like only 5 minutes. Now, I know I might be overreacting about this, but trust me, if you have seen this film, you know I am not. Even people that like this film, come on, you guys, you gotta admit that there are way too many of these. I wouldn't be so annoyed by it if there weren't so many of them constantly. But there are. So, yeah. My 1 out of 10 review on the songs? 1! A freaking 1! Why? Because they annoy me! If you haven't gotten that from this, they annoy me! I know I'm dwelling on this, but oh good God, I just hate these songs. They have no progression for the film. I mean, sure, some of them do, but you can just... half of them are just like something that you can just say. Actors, just say it. Just say what you want to do. Then the film will be shorter. And the bad thing is, these songs, half of them I can't even understand. No, it's not just because the volume goes down sometimes. No, it's because these actors are just like trying to make sense of it while they're singing it. They're just like, wait, what? Why are we still singing? We don't need to sing this much. It's like they were even questioning why they were singing this much. And it makes no sense, especially during the second half, which I have said I liked, but in the second half, they're trying to get away from a giant. Why sing during that half? You're trying to get away from a giant. You don't want to hear you. So what do? Oh, sing as loud as you can. Yeah, that makes sense. But like I said, 1 out of 10 on the songs. So, all in all, do I still want to leave the woods? Yes, I still want to leave the woods. Because the woods had nothing to offer me. aside from characters that have little to no personality, aside from being generic and overused, and just far too many songs for you to actually think about the real story and take appreciation to the cinematography that they're doing and how much money went into this. I mean, I bet that there was tons of money that went into this project, but when you've got annoying song on top of annoying song, you can't focus on on how good this film might have been in the long run. So, all in all, I give the film in total a 3 out of 10. Because I just cannot stop thinking about those annoying songs. I'm sorry, but they constantly ignore me. They constantly annoy me, and if you like them, then fine. That's fine, but For me personally, I could watch this whole entire film without them. That's it for my review right now. And next week, and yes, I'm going to be reviewing films I'm going to be doing videos on Saturday now, because for me Saturdays are easier. Or on Mondays or on Fridays. So those are like the 3 days you will most likely see me posting videos. But I might be posting some videos in between, I don't know. So, if you like the songs, then fine. If you can make it through it. But still, play the game, try to count how many songs there are. You might run out of paper. Like, just get a little piece of paper, do a little tally number of how many songs there are. And then do a little tally number of how many conversations there are. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna be hard. And if you like stuff like that, then knock yourself out. And my next review will be about a film that I really despise. I mean, this is a film that I despise. This is possibly the worst film I've ever seen. This film is called Labu. Next week.